Welcome to this exact 12-minute and 30-second historical journey straight up the Interstate 41 corridor. As we trace this path heading north through the Milwaukee suburbs of Greenfield and West Allis, we're traveling over a landscape that tells the sweeping, dramatic story of the industrial, cultural, and medical evolution of the entire state of Wisconsin. For the duration of this transit, we are going to look completely past the modern concrete of the highway and focus entirely on the fascinating layers of history, the forgotten pioneers, and the massive industrial empires buried directly beneath this route. The very ground this highway occupies was profoundly shaped over 10,000 years ago during the last ice age. The massive Laurentide ice sheet, an incredibly heavy, mile-thick glacier, carved out the Great Lakes and left behind a trail of fertile, rolling moraines across southeastern Wisconsin. Long before the concept of an interstate system was ever imagined, this specific geographical ridge running parallel to Lake Michigan was utilized by the Potawatomi and Menomonee tribes. They forged the original, highly efficient foot trails through the dense, ancient oak savannas and thick marshlands, using this elevated ground to travel safely between their seasonal hunting camps and the rivers. When you travel up this corridor today, you are essentially driving on the mid-20th century solution to a massive mid-20th century problem. Following World War II, the downtown grid of Milwaukee was completely choking on its own booming industrial success. Every piece of heavy freight, every factory worker, and every cross-country traveler was being funneled through the narrow, crowded streets of the central city. In the 1960s, city planners carved this bypass out of the western suburbs to route the heavy commercial trucks around the city limits. This single piece of infrastructure permanently altered the development patterns of Milwaukee County, transforming quiet dairy farms into sprawling commercial hubs practically overnight. As the miles roll past, we are officially crossing the invisible boundary into the city of West Allis. The very name of this city is a direct, enduring testament to the raw, towering industrial might of 20th century America. In the late 1800s, a visionary industrialist named Edward P. Allis founded a machinery company in downtown Milwaukee called the Reliance Works. As his company grew into an absolute titan of manufacturing, they quickly realized they were completely landlocked in the city. They needed massive, unprecedented amounts of space to build their colossal steam engines, mining equipment, and agricultural tractors. So they looked west, purchasing huge, uninterrupted tracts of flat farmland. The Allis-Chalmers Corporation was born, and the city of West Allis literally sprang from the mud to surround it. At its absolute peak, the Allis-Chalmers plant was a genuine behemoth. It employed over 16,000 people. It functioned as its own entirely self-contained city, complete with its own massive internal railroad system, its own power plant, and cavernous brick foundries where the heat was so intense it would singe the eyebrows off the workers. They manufactured the iconic Persian orange tractors that completely revolutionized American farming, directly rivaling John Deere's famous green equipment. During the darkest days of World War II, the men and women of West Allis worked around the clock in those soot-covered brick buildings. They manufactured the massive, highly complex steam turbines that powered the battleships and submarines of the United States Navy. They even secretly manufactured the vital, highly specialized pumps used in the Manhattan Project. While the massive corporation eventually fell victim to shifting global economics and filed for bankruptcy in the 1980s, causing the foundries to be torn down or repurposed into modern office spaces, the legacy remains. You are traveling right through the heart of a proud, resilient community whose entire identity, architecture, and work ethic was forged in those blazing hot factories. Moving further north along the corridor, the rich history of West Allis transitions from heavy industry to deep agricultural pride. Just off to the east of this path lies the sprawling footprint of the Wisconsin State Fair Park. Since 1892, that specific plot of land has been the ultimate annual showcase for the agricultural dominance of America's dairyland. Every single August, the park transforms into a massive, chaotic, joyful celebration. Millions of people have walked those grounds to admire prize-winning livestock, watch incredible agricultural demonstrations, and consume the legendary Original Cream Puff, an impossibly decadent, powdered sugar-covered pastry that was completely perfected in the State Fair bakeries back in 1924. But the State Fair Park holds another incredible, high-speed historical secret hidden right in plain sight. Wrapped entirely around the traditional fairgrounds is the historic Milwaukee Mile. It is a 1-mile flat oval racetrack, and it proudly holds the highly prestigious title of being the oldest continuously operating motor racing circuit in the entire world. It is actually several years older than the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Long before modern stock cars or aerodynamically perfect Indy cars even existed, the Milwaukee Mile was hosting massive, dusty races featuring stripped-down, primitive pioneer automobiles driven by absolute daredevils like Barney Oldfield. And even before the cars arrived in 1903, it was a premier dirt track for thoroughbred horse racing. The echoes of the greatest, bravest drivers in the entire history of global motorsports still linger in the air. Just a stone's, we are now approaching the geographical area that serves as the most complex and heavily trafficked nexus in the state of Wisconsin, the Zoo Interchange footprint. This is the gargantuan intersection where multiple interstate highways violently converge. But the deep history of this specific location is intrinsically tied to the beloved world-class cultural institution that gives the interchange its famous name. The Milwaukee County Zoo sits directly on the northwest quadrant of this massive highway split, but it wasn't always located out here. Back in the 1950s, the city faced a massive problem. The original Washington Park Zoo, located much closer to the downtown district, was completely out of space. The enclosures were terribly cramped, the facilities were incredibly outdated, and the modern understanding of animal welfare was rapidly evolving. Under the visionary leadership of Zoo Director George Speidel, Milwaukee County purchased a massive, sprawling, heavily wooded tract of land way out here on the western edge of the city. Speidel implemented a completely revolutionary, state-of-the-art zoological park design. Instead of keeping animals in iron cages, they designed massive, sweeping, open-air enclosures where predator and prey animals appeared to roam perfectly together on the African savanna, separated entirely by hidden, deep, impassable dry moats. The new Milwaukee County Zoo opened right as the massive interstate highway system was being constructed around it. The roar of the lions eventually blended completely with the hum of the highway traffic, permanently locking the two landmarks together in the minds of generations of Wisconsin residents. As we push past the zoo properties, we are crossing over into the historic city of Wauwatosa. Wauwatosa is a beautiful, deeply rooted community nestled perfectly in the Menomonee River Valley. The beautiful, melodic name of the city actually originates from the Potawatomi Native American word for firefly. The early indigenous tribes used this heavily wooded, pristine valley as a vital, highly productive hunting and gathering ground. They were completely captivated by the massive, glowing swarms of fireflies that would spectacularly light up the dense riverbanks during the hot, intensely humid summer nights. In 1835, a pioneer named Charles Hart recognized the immense power of the Menomonee River, built a grist mill, and transformed the quiet valley of the fireflies into a thriving, bustling pioneer village that eventually became a legendary city of homes. As the route continues, we intersect with the path of Watertown Plank Road. The name of this road is not just a quaint, historic title used to sound rustic. It is a completely literal, highly accurate description of exactly what this thoroughfare used to be. Back in the 1840s, Wisconsin was not even officially a state yet. It was a wild, untamed frontier territory. The early pioneer farmers out in the western settlements desperately needed a reliable, efficient way to transport their heavy, massive wagons of wheat, barley, and raw timber to the bustling shipping port of Milwaukee. But the existing dirt trails were completely, hopelessly impassable. During the massive spring thaws and violent summer thunderstorms, those dirt trails turned into deep, incredibly thick trenches of mud that would easily swallow heavy wagon wheels all the way up to the axles. To solve this massive logistical nightmare, private investors formed a company in 1848 to build a literal massive wooden road. They chopped down thousands of massive, old-growth white oak trees from the surrounding untouched forests, milled them into heavy, thick wooden planks, and laid them side by side in the dirt. They created a massive 58-mile-long wooden boardwalk stretching all the way from the port of Milwaukee completely west to the town of Watertown. It was operated as a private toll road, with toll houses set up every few miles, and it was a massive, instant economic success. Heavily loaded horse-drawn stagecoaches and farm wagons could finally glide smoothly over the deep mud, completely transforming the agricultural economy of the entire region. Those heavy oak planks eventually rotted away, replaced first by gravel and eventually by modern asphalt. But this path directly follows one of the most vital pioneer supply lines in the history of the American Midwest. We are now entering the final, most dramatic and truly transformative geographical stretch of our exact 12-minute and 30-second journey. This area transitions into a massive, sprawling campus of towering glass and steel medical buildings. You have arrived at the footprint of the Milwaukee Regional Medical Center. But this beautiful, cutting-edge medical city sits on land with an incredibly dark, somber, and deeply complex history. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, this massive, sprawling tract of land was universally known as the Milwaukee County Grounds. It was a completely self-sustaining, heavily isolated institutional world entirely removed from the general public. The county specifically purchased this massive plot of land in 1852 to house the people that society had completely cast aside. It was the site of the Milwaukee County Poor Farm, where destitute and impoverished citizens worked the harsh agricultural fields just to earn their keep. It housed a massive, overflowing orphanage. It contained the Muirdale Tuberculosis Sanatorium, where patients were isolated in the fresh air to battle the highly contagious White Plague. And it was the home of the sprawling, highly imposing Milwaukee County Asylum for the chronic insane.